Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Snow and welcome to A Conscious Earth. As many of you know, I love and adore the work of Brene Brown, and I am currently undertaking a course at the moment called Dare to Lead, which is facilitated by an organisation called the Leadership Sphere. On Friday, when I was studying with the group of people doing the same course, my facilitator, Philip Ralph, asked me if I was happy to share a piece that I had written on vulnerability and the arena. And so, of course, I was happy to share that, and I have created a video piece around that, which I've posted before this one. Now, out of that, I actually ended up writing piece number 2, which I hadn't intended to do, but it just kind of happened. And so I thought I would share that with you as well, as it comes from a slightly different lens from the first time I wrote the first piece. Now, bear with me, I'm not the most awesome at reading things out loud. I'm not really a reader to begin with. I like audio, I like visual, I like to write, but I don't necessarily like to read out loud. Anyway, let's see how we go. This is called Strength, Courage. This is a Strength, Courage and Vulnerability piece, and it's called The Arena Part 2, Anxiety and Fear, Fighting for Your Dreams and Aspirations. Here we go. When I wrote my first piece about being in the arena, it was about the definition of a true athlete. I had written it from a place of having experienced depression, postnatal depression, and other ailing conditions, which in the earlier days I didn't always have names and labels for. My definition of a true elite athlete, though, has today been revised and now looks like this. Definition of a true athlete. Someone who wakes up every day feeling consistently defeated from ailing life conditions, wishing they didn't have to step into the arena of everyday life, but continues to show up anyway, no matter how unempathetic, brutal or cruel the world and our subconscious minds can be. In my first story, I talked about how once upon a time I used to be an elite international sports athlete with all the energy in the world, until one day I woke up as a different type of athlete, the type of athlete who had overnight become unwell with chronic illness. Today, I write my second piece from a slightly different lens, as I am currently continuously learning, evolving, healing, recreating myself and conquering my demons. My narrative is always changing, and I would like to share the next part of my story using a few different metaphors. Having conquered many chronic illness ailments, symptoms and conditions, which I now have labels for all, there are still two ailments that try to hijack the show for many of us, and most days cleverly disguise themselves as unworthiness, shame, blame and no responsibility. They also hide away deep in the dungeon of our subconscious minds, desperately trying not to get caught. If you haven't guessed by now, I am talking about anxiety and fear. Anxiety being one of the biggest contributors to chronic illness on planet Earth today, and fear being that ailment that stops us in all of our greatness. Anxiety and fear, hang on, let me try that again. See, I don't love reading out loud. If you haven't guessed by now, I am talking about anxiety and fear. Anxiety being one of the biggest contributors to chronic illness on planet Earth today, and fear being that ailment that stops us in all of our greatness. Together, anxiety and fear form a strong partnership. And breathe. Chronic anxiety and fear had always been my kryptonite, and depending on circumstances and situations, sometimes still can be. We all experience some level of anxiety and fear in our lives from time to time, and you can't compare one person's level of anxiety and fear to the next. The variables are endless. Up until recently, though, I realised I had been locked away in the prison cell of the subconscious mind with just one small window. Standing right outside the door were two prison guards. Their names were anxiety and fear. The only view I had from my subconscious prison cell window was a field of dreams and aspirations. They appeared so near, yet they were so far. All day, anxiety and fear would stand at the door, blocking my gateway to the field of dreams. Continuously, they would scream at me, "You're not good enough, you don't know anything, you're worthless, who do you think you are, you're nothing." And even if I dared walk towards the door, even thought about my dreams, anxiety and fear would induce a fight or flight response, ensuring I knew my place in this world, which was to be small and worthless. And for that reason, I wouldn't dare leave my subconscious prison cell. It was no wonder I had suffered from depression and many other ailing symptoms, but I was fortunate that I had found a way to escape the subconscious prison of chronic illness. But how on earth was I going to escape the subconscious prison of anxiety and fear? This was when I discovered neuroscience and environmental and behavioural biology. Science and research is continuously evolving and changing when it comes to the research and data. But to put a few things into perspective, it was cellular biologist Dr. Bruce Lipton who said that our conscious brain only operates approximately 5% of its capacity in a day, processing approximately 40 bits of information per second. I'm going to read that again deliberately. It was cellular biologist Dr. Bruce Lipton who said that our conscious brain only operates at approximately 5% of its capacity in a day, processing approximately 40 bits of information per second. This bit's really important. This next bit, with our subconscious brain operating at around 95% of its capacity in a day, processing approximately 20 million bits of information per second. I'll read that one more time. With our subconscious brain operating at around 95% of its capacity in a day, processing approximately 20 million bits of information per second. So I'm just going to stop there for a sec. That's a huge contrast when you look at the percentages between the 5% of the conscious brain and the 95% of the subconscious brain. So to give you a slightly different example, when we work from the front screen of a device or computer, all you can see is what is being processed in front of you, which is the equivalent to the conscious brain. What you can't see are the programs and systems operating in the background, which is what mimics our subconscious brain. When you look at our conscious and subconscious brains from these analogies, it's no wonder people find it so hard to change, because the only way for change to occur is by becoming consciously aware of our thoughts, behaviours, patterns and beliefs, followed by taking action to change the operating system located in the subconscious brain. This is why today I no longer choose to be the same person that I was yesterday, and I'm continuously and consciously rewriting my own subconscious programs. Eventually waking up to the unconscious repetition of what my life had become, slowly I became the spectator of my own life, observing subconscious thoughts, behaviours, patterns and beliefs. It finally struck me that my thoughts and beliefs were predominantly not my own, and my entire existence had been built on programs, dogmatic principles and belief systems built by others from their programming and upbringing. And just like that, I had realised I was a sheep just like everyone else, following a pack and herd mentality. Once I woke up to the discovery that I was entitled to be my own person, I knew I couldn't go back to business as usual, and I had some choices to make. My choice was to either bury my head in the sand, pretending I had no awareness of my environment, subconscious thoughts and behaviours, and to remain a victim of life, or I could fight for my dreams and aspirations by leaving old subconscious belief systems behind and stepping into the arena with the prison guards of anxiety and fear to battle it out on the field. The arena is now where I choose to be today, fighting for my dreams, even on those days where I'm unarmoured, vulnerable and get brutally kicked and knocked down. I continue to get up and face anxiety and fear on the field again and again. And for that's what truly demonstrates vulnerability, courage and strength. My question to you is, can you find the strength and courage to be braver than anxiety and fear and follow your heart and your dreams? Who is it that you want to be? So I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope I've been able to share a piece of my heart with you and you've been able to feel that. And I'm sure there's going to be another piece to come in the future. I'm so passionate about this topic. And as always, I will be back with you all again soon. Bye for now.